Welcome back, everybody, to the Cardboard Cave for another Super 7 Ultimates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figure unboxing. We have today Metalhead. Let's just get right into it. Metalhead, like all the other figures, retails for $55. But like all the other figures, if you look around, you probably can get them for quite a bit less than that. And here he is, or here's his box anyways. So, of course, you got his face there, his design, his emblem, just like all the other ones. Great packaging as always. A single little circular piece of tape that does not really tear or leave any sticky residue, or one on top, one on bottom, so 2 pieces total. Very easy to get in and out of the box. Very easy to put back in the box if you want to store them in the box. Just really excellent packaging, period. Like all the Super 7 figures. So here he is. Metalhead. The sometimes good guy, sometimes turned villain. Very embarrassingly, I did not recognize him in the little tiny figures that I got. The bucket of turtles, that video I did. It was very embarrassing because he's a pretty big staple in the video games, and I totally remember fighting him. I think maybe they called him Mecha Turtle in one of the video games. Maybe it was the first Turtles game. Anyways, here's the little blurb about him. He was designed as Krang's ultimate weapon against the Turtles, but reprogrammed by Donatello. And some of the stories, I had to look this up because I couldn't remember. Was he always meant to be a good guy? Was he meant to be a bad guy? In some of the stories, Donatello created him, but I think in the original story, his origin story, it was actually Krang who developed him, and then Donatello reprogrammed him for good. So, he is sometimes good, sometimes bad, I guess. His eyes light up when you hold him up to the light. Wait, is that actually true, or are they just saying like the real one? I don't think this one's going to. He's always the life of the party. He can whip up whipped cream with jelly bean pizza, serve sodas, display video games, or rock the sewer with tunes from his jazzed up jukebox. I should have been reading these. I've not read any of these when I've done my unboxings. That's pretty good. He becomes one annoyed Android and dishes out trouble with his Robo Chucks and Foot Blaster. So Robo Chucks and Foot Blaster. I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot of the weapons he uses in the video games. This appears to be a finger whip, and I think I do remember him having a whip of some sort. And he's got like a little helicopter spinner thing there. A console there of some sort. Some hand grenades. But let's just go ahead and get into him. So anyways, in the packaging, that's pretty much your view. I do like to give you a moment in the packaging because I know some of you, and no judgment at all for me, some of you are going to buy these and leave them in the packaging. So you want to know what they look like in the packaging, you know, actual, not publisher images, but actual in hand. And then once I take them out, you know, I'm probably never putting him back in the packaging. So I do like to give you a moment to see. And he looks great in the packaging. That gold really pops. And like all these figures, you get to see a lot because the packaging is so well designed. The window takes up such a big area, and the window continues onto the sides. So yeah, for sure. But let's open them up now. Okay, I just was weirded out there for a moment. I already popped the top off this and totally forgot that I did it. Just to make it easier for the video, I just popped off the little piece of tape. But again, they're very easy to come off. It's just, the one on top is just like that one. So these are very easy packages to open. All right, here we go. And of course in there is just think I've shown that before. Just a solid color. And then you got everything in your top tray, the figure itself, the extra head, which almost every single one of these comes with, the whip finger here, 2 grenades, the spinner, which is that for his head? No, it's just for his hands. I can't say I honestly remember that. Some kind of a radar dish, which perhaps that goes in here. I'm not sure. And then on the back side, here's where I need to get my little blade here to get into the back side. This piece of Scotch tape that holds the 2 trays together is always what takes me the longest. Otherwise, the boxes are super easy to get into. There we go. Just about cut my finger there. That'd make for an interesting video. And you know me, I would not edit it out. I'm very honest with my videos. If I sauce my finger open, I would post it as is. So there we go. On the bottom half, we have 2 extra sets of hands. So he has 3 sets total. Well, 3.5 sets, because this is actually a hand itself, this whip. And for some reason, he has an extra, also smaller one. An extra one of these, I called it a helicopter. I'm not quite sure if I'm right about that. Some kind of a spinner. Oh, this one can actually be a hand, I think. I think that's what that small peg is for. Whereas this one is handheld. Interesting. So you have a handheld one, and one that actually becomes his hand. At least I think that's right. I should have looked more into this figure. I remember fighting him in the video games, but I don't particularly remember what weapons he used or anything. So I may not know where some of this stuff goes on, so we'll have to figure that out. So yeah. And then, of course, we have the weapons rack, which simply has one of all the main things on a rack here. This, see, just like all these figures come with, but unpainted, just the basic version of all the things. So you actually get one of the extra consoles. That's kind of cool. It just doesn't come with a sticker. But otherwise, I think it's... well, no, there is a little bit of paint. There's a little paint detail on this one. See, to compare, they did do some accents and things on that one. Anyways, let's go and get him out of the pack. Except for this piece, I don't see any reason to get the hands or this out of the package. So just know those will still be in there. But I'm very curious about this, so I'm getting this out. I mean, that looks like it could break off pretty easy, so I'm not going to force it. But I'm not entirely sure if this goes like onto his hand itself. Huh. This actually turns a little bit. It turns completely. Huh. Okay. Like a helicopter. But I think it's actually a weapon. I honestly just don't remember it. I probably sound stupid now to some of you. But there's his extra head, which is basically the same except he's smiling. Well, honestly, what is the difference? He's smiling in that one too. What is the difference in the head here? There must be a difference. Well, I'm going to get that head out so we can compare that, because that's odd. Why would he come with 2 identical heads? I've never seen that before. This looks interesting to get out. Let's see here. Oh, it just pulls out. Okay. So here is a little finger whip thing here. This is cool how the end of his finger flips open, or it's made to look like it flips open, and lets this whip thing out. 2 little grenades, we're going to get those out. They are indeed quite small. Let's see here. Where'd the other one go? There are indeed 2 grenades, and I've indeed seemed to lose one of them. Oh, there it is. There we go. Two little grenades there. And I imagine he'll be able to hold those in his hand. Right, I'll go and pop out this. So this is a chunkier version of that spinner weapon. And the top also spins. But this looks like it's made to hold in his hand. Whereas this looks like it's meant to plug into something. So we'll see. I mean, otherwise they're extremely similar. All right, then you got this, looks like a radar dish, which I believe is just meant to go on top of the console, so we'll go and get both of those out at the same time. Oh, and this he can wear on his back. That's cool. Okay. So this is obviously meant to go on top of here, so we're going to go and put that in there. There we go. It goes in easily and can spin in any direction. This is a sticker, I assume. Yeah, it's a sticker, but it's well applied, and thank goodness you don't have to apply it yourself. I would not enjoy that personally. Try to get the camera to focus a little better there. You can see it's not just a green chunk of plastic. They've painted some buttons and highlights and things, and even these little tiny buttons on the side are painted. So there is some detail there on both sides. And there's even some detail on the back, and you can wear it as a backpack. So that's cool. It's a pretty cool accessory. Although I don't remember enough to remember, as I've said before, it's been since the 90s, I would say, the last time I watched the Turtles cartoon. I'm seriously considering watching through it again. The video games are what I have the most experience with, and I just don't remember if that was in the game, then what purpose it served. I just don't remember. But I'm sure that it's something the Playmates figure originally came with, and I'm sure it's something that has ties to the show and or the games. All right, and here's Metalhead himself. Get him out of here. He's in here pretty tight. Whew. A little tighter than the other ones I've done, honestly. Wow, okay. Most of them almost just fall out. There we go. Oh, God. Whew. His hand just popped off. But luckily it did just pop off. It didn't break off. There he goes. That's all it took, though. Man, okay. Just had to get his hand off there. Well, since that hand went ahead and came off, let's just go ahead and get down to brass tacks and put on this one. All right. So here is Metalhead. Very cool gold color. So this, again, I don't remember. Did he just have a T? He probably did, because M would be confuse people with Michelangelo. So did he just have a T for Turtles, I guess, on his belt? I don't remember personally. But here he is. He is very similar in shape and size to the Turtles, for sure. So I can zoom in a little bit here. There we go. But I love the gold shell. And this belt is a permanent belt, but it's like a rubbery material. But let's try to be semi-professional, start top to bottom. Got his head there. The eyes do have a, I think they're just painted, or are they actually a translucent plastic? They give the idea of like a translucent red plastic, but I think they're just painted. Honestly, though, no, I'm not sure. Wait a minute. No, indeed. I do not know how I'm going to show this, because I don't think I have a flashlight down here. Huh. Let's try this. This might blind you. But here's Metalhead. Maybe you can see a little bit there, not much. There you go. So his eyes glow. I mean, glow's a strong word, but they weren't kidding. Look at that. It's because this piece on his head is also a translucent red plastic. So if you get light behind that, it gives the appearance that his eyes are glowing. It is hard to tell on camera, but I mean, they're not actually glowing. It's just clear plastic so you can see the light through it. But I think that's kind of cool and unexpected, honestly. So that is cool. They're not just painted on, but they're actually clear plastic. Anyways, love the gold. Shiny, looks great. His arms look really good there. continuing down, I think his legs look really good. Some good painted detail there. There's mechanized turtle feet. And then turning him around. There's some really good detail there. As far as this extra head, what is the difference? There's your question. And I think, okay, that is over the top. The difference is this extra head is just painted like I expected the main one to be. Those eyes are just painted on. This is not translucent. I truly don't understand the reason for that, because frankly, this one's just cooler to me. But I guess that's just for the sake of completeness. But I think this one, that the light can shine through, even though most people may never notice it. I might not have never noticed it if I didn't read the blurb on the back of the box. I'm like, hey, I'm going to try it. Because they look basically identical. They really do. But the one on him is technically translucent plastic, and this is just painted. Anyway, so that's that. If you know any other differences in the heads, let me know, but I do not think there is one. I believe that's it. There's no like holes or anything to attach to anything on this. Just, you know, the one to go onto his body. So I will never change those heads out, but hey, you got an extra one. So anyways, as far as articulation, let's zoom out a little bit here. And again, I don't spend a lot of time on this because to me, they're all similar, but I'm no expert with these things. His head spins 360. Does it tilt up and down? It does tilt up and down. His arms are tight. Elbows, shoulders, upper arm, wrist, all the things. Let's see. Hips. Can't go back super far really, but don't really need to because that's an unnatural and painful position. Well, for a human anyways. But knees, of course, will bend. I didn't know these like hydraulic tubes or pneumatic tubes back here. That's kind of cool. Anyways, knees. Let's see. Hips feel, as I said before with these Super 7 figures, the hips are either on the tight side or the loose side. But to me, they're pretty much okay either way. They're just a little looser or a little tighter. It just depends on the figure you get. These arms are very tight. The hips feel a little loose, but he's not a huge heavy figure. I do not foresee it being an issue, but some people care about that, so I wanted to point it out. Okay, knees do bend. They were just a little tighter. This seems to be all they want to bend, but that's enough, really. And then, of course, the feet independently go up and down. So if you wanted to, I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to stand like that. I'm not sure how he would, but certainly capable of doing a kick. All right, so let's see. So let's just try to put some of these accessories on them. So I'm seeing these two things right here, and I think this must be for the backpack. So let's go ahead and do that. Put the backpack on him here. Should be pretty easy. Just put that in that hole. I appreciate accessories that are easy to put on and off without risk of tearing something apart. Yep, that was easy. And just gotta get this one on. All right, a quick edit there. I was falling apart a little bit, making sure I wasn't harshly judging the character. And yeah, I just want to show you the four hands in here, the weapons rack, and then the accessories here that we don't have on him currently. And then here he is standing just fine with this back on here. I was able to get that back on. When you got two hands, it's funny how easy it is to get this on. So I've got the radar dish here, and as a reminder, you can switch it out for this. And then I got this on in place of a regular hand, and this sewn in place of regular hands. And yeah, he's looking pretty cool here, fighting a Mauser alongside Raphael. Very similar in size to the regular turtles, but with, well, frankly, a lot fancier paintwork. Really more sculpting going on with that crazy mechanical shell. I guess the only downside would be with this hunking thing on, you don't see as much of the back of the shell, but it's pretty cool. I like that look overall. He's a good looking figure. So as far as visual appeal, I think Metalhead is excellent. As far as paintwork and sculpting, the sculpting on almost all these Super 7 Ultimates figures are just awesome. Just honestly awesome. The paintwork, well, it depends what your expectations are. I'm usually disappointed with the little, like, my Raphael had a smudge around his eyes, like where it's the most obvious, a white smudge of paint, and actually took a Sharpie, and you really can't tell it now. Even I can't tell it. I'm a little disappointed sometimes with those. I don't really see anything like that with this one, though. And overall, I'm very happy with the paint. I'm extremely happy with the sculpting. And I'm okay with the articulation. I was struggling a little bit. That made this video 10 minutes longer than I meant for it to be. But I wanted to make sure I got it right. And my opinion is, him falling over or not doesn't have much at all to do with the articulation. It doesn't have much at all to do with the fact that, yes, his hips are slightly looser than like Raphael's, for example. It just has to do with the fact that he's heavier on the back than the front. So if you want to have him in the backpack formation, he's not going to be standing stick straight, and that's okay. In fact, it's probably even more realistic. He's carrying a heavy old honking thing, and you see here, he's sturdy enough. He is sturdy enough for sure. Like, you see here. Yeah, very much sturdy enough, standing that straight up. I think maybe I had his feet too close together, which does make a big difference. A wider stance gives him a lot more stability. It's just a little bit of playing around with it, and I wanted to play around with it till I was sure I got it right. So I'm going to say, for me, his hips are not a problem. Him falling over is not a problem. If I want him in a different, straighter up stance, then I simply will not have the backpack on. And I like it both ways. I like him with the backpack. Sorry, Raph. And I like him with it off. I think it works both ways. So anyways, there we go. I'm going to give this a recommendation. But as always, I personally would not be comfortable paying $55 for this. The packaging is superb. The sculpting is superb. The paint is good. The articulation of joints and stuff are a little inconsistent, but fine. I don't think it's a $55 figure, but I do think it's an excellent figure. I don't know if that helps you out or not, but that's my opinion. So, thanks for checking out the Cardboard Cave. Another cool looking figure I'm happy to add to my TMNT Ultimates collection. And we'll catch you next time. Hey, I wanted to come back here for a quick addendum. So there's like 10 minutes of footage, or close to it, that I cut out of that video. Maybe it wasn't 10 minutes. There was several minutes of footage where I was really struggling to get him to stand and stay standing with that backpack on. And I want the backpack on him because it adds to the character. It's included. So I do still like the figure overall, but of all the Super 7 Ultimates TMNT figures, Metalhead is the one I struggle the most getting him to stay standing. Leatherhead still has the loosest hips. You know, when you bend him over like that, he goes over the rest of the way. But if you get Leatherhead standing, he stays standing. It's not a problem. Metalhead is the one character who I'm constantly, like, I barely bump him by accident. Boom, he's falling over. And I don't think it has anything to do with his slightly loose hip joints. It's just, I don't know, he's not balanced, especially with that backpack on. So, I still like him overall. And as long as you're okay slumping him forward a little bit like I showed with the backpack on, he will stand. And with the backpack off, he stands a little better because he's not so back heavy. But I don't know. For the right price, I still recommend the figure. But I wanted to be fair. It's been weeks ago now that I recorded this video because I recorded a bunch of these in a row and I'm releasing them just, you know, every few days or so. If anybody watches this, I just wanted to be fair. I think Metalhead is the most frustrating of the figures for me. And maybe it is me. Maybe I don't have his feet still. I still don't have his feet positioned great. I don't know. But for me, he's the only one I actually have a problem getting him to stay standing once I have him in a good position. Now, if you just sit him on a hard surface, he's not going to just fall over on his own. I don't mean that. I just mean if you just do the tiniest bit of positioning, boom, he's going over. Which is okay. You just got to put him back up, figure out the right position. He's just extremely wobbly. Like, it's not his loose hips. It's just his weight. Like, he wants to fall backwards, period. And with the backpack off, it's not quite as bad, for sure. But anyways, he's still a really nice looking figure. And I don't think it's like a serious flaw. I just cut out so much video of me struggling to get him to stay standing that I thought it was only fair to mention it here. Yeah. So, my opinion, for me personally, $35 in that range, I feel good about it. He's a super high quality figure, excellent sculpting, great paint, cool, really cool accessories. I think he's a $35 figure. I think that's fair. Of course, they charge $55 new, so if you can find a pretty good deal like I did, I think you can go for him. For $55, it's just, if you're a super Metalhead fan, then I think you'll still be okay. But if you're not, then maybe wait for a better price. Anyways, thanks for checking out the Cardboard Cave.